Hello, everyone. It's Andrew here, and this week's topic is who or what has helped us with our identity process. Was there someone who encouraged you? Did something connect with you to give you strength? This one's a really easy topic for me because essentially the person who allowed me to realize that I was super trans was my older sister, Amy. I know that she's going to watch this video, so shout out to my older sister. She subscribed, and I'm really, really happy that she's been keeping along and keeping up with my transition and been really supportive of me ever since I was born because she's older than me. She allowed me to think about it. Let's say, well, she knew that I was queer in some way in middle school, as I mentioned before, or even elementary school, asking me, like, do you like that girl? And, because you've been talking about her. And in high school, around my senior year, she would ask me, would you ever transition? Would you ever, do you see yourself, like, living your future like that butch lesbian over there, like, for instance? Or do you see yourself changing your body to be more like a man? And at that time, I didn't know anything about trans things. I thought trans people were drag queens. Um, Literally all the negative stereotypes that we see in the media. I thought that they sold their bodies, and I didn't know who were trans people. And at that time, it made me think, was I really comfortable in my body? Because I had been uncomfortable with my chest. I'd always hunch back like this, not stand up straight, and that's why I have, back problems and posture and everything. And I would be uncomfortable um, changing in front of, girls in my grade, and then I'd be uncomfortable. Um, like I wouldn't just say my first name at that time, my birth name. People would say my entire name, and I just presented really masculinely, and I thought that there's something missing. So senior year, she prodded the question when we were hanging out, and then when I got to college, it was my spring break. Like I said, she gave me a book called The Riddle of Gender by Deborah uh, Radisil, and I'm butchering the last name, by the way. But she's like, oh, I read some of it. I got it at a used book place, and I thought you'd find it interesting. And at that time, I was already really out in my university queer pride community, and I would be going out all the time to the gay club, the gay night club. I was so involved in my pride student group on campus, and I was just really outgoing at the time, and I didn't let anyone call me lesbian. I dressed like a frat bro. Yeah, I'm not trying to be offensive, but I dressed like a frat bro because I thought that that was the way that I felt comfortable in because I looked more like a guy. So I wear short polos. I'd wear khaki shorts, and I wear my Sperry's, and then I'd wear those, what's it called? Those those sunglasses that you can get anywhere. I hung around my neck with the croaky, and I at that year, like, I also cut my hair short, um, because, like, I forgot, like, what the chronology was, whether I cut my hair short, like, I chopped my hair off, um, first, or I realized I was trans first. But when I did, it was a huge moment because I knew that at that point I wouldn't go back. Like, I would never go back to putting my hair in a ponytail um, that I had done for my whole life. The reason why I put my hair in my ponytail was, I didn't know why, but I just felt like people would gender me as a guy from the front when seeing me. So, like, I already knew that I was more comfortable being gendered as a guy at first glance. Um, so that spring break, she gave me the book, and when she came back home to visit me, and then I started reading it in my dorm, and that was the same time my roommate went back home and visited her her parents a lot, and so I would spend weekends by myself in my room And reading it, by the end of the week, I it hit me because all the stories in there were exactly how I felt. And then I realized trans isn't intangible to me. I am trans, and I didn't realize that. Um, and educating myself about the identity, and um, it just really hit me all of a sudden. It was a huge epiphany. I couldn't handle it because I started getting really depressed. So I called my sister up and I told her, you know, I think I'm trans. Um, and it just, I wanted to transfer schools at that time because I was like, because at the same week, as a lot of homophobic talk was said around me, and it was disgusting because, everything's very gender binary at school, very heterosexist. And she's like, it's not that, she's just like, are you sure you want to transfer schools? Like, you already invested so much already a year at this school, and you would lose a lot of money, moving to like a big city like Boston, going to school. And it was just really hard, and I had to go to the counseling center to, because I just didn't know what to do at this point, because I knew that, like, trying to come out to my parents was already hard enough. How could I, like, this is my identity, how could this happen? And how am I going to deal with this and coming out to my parents as trans? Like, it's even rough. Um, as for encouraging me, it was hard for my sister to, I felt it was hard for my sister to relate and be able to handle it from my perspective. And so the people who encouraged me the most were my my close friends, the people who accepted me once I told them I was trans. And it took a while for me to start, making sure and enforcing pronouns and the name, preferred name, when I came back in the fall for sophomore year. So those people, uh, who affirmed my identity, um, in my friend circle, and then also my supervisors that at work, because I work at the multicultural and diversity affairs, they encouraged me because they accepted me for who I was, without question. Um, Something that connected me to give me strength, definitely, when I went to Create and Change my sophomore year, it was in January, so it had been like half a year already by then, and it was the first time when I went to the Queer API Institute, the day-long institute with Incapia. First time I've ever been in a room with all queer Asians. I met queer Asians from all over the U.S. I finally met trans Asians and trans API folks, and I felt so empowered, and to be able to see people who look like me and people who went through the same, not the same, but like very similar situations, people who were still trying to come out to their parents, people who are from two of the same communities as I am. And so I was so empowered. Um, I know I keep on saying the same words, but it was simply just, I think it changed my life because there weren't any out trans API people at my school. And to be able to see that, and, and doing this channel really helped me be way more confident and helped me understand myself so much better. And being able to see my future, just from the people who could support me right off the bat, was extremely important. And later coming out to my brother, and my younger brother supporting me was also, it added to that. And my siblings are a huge part of my family of support. In addition to my roommates and my best friends. So I really appreciate everyone who has helped me, and not saying that I need the affirmation, but at the end of the day, we need we need support. Everyone needs support, whether or not they're trans or not, queer or not. that affirmation of identity is crucial to our lifeline. And so, thanks to my sister. Thanks for watching. My brother, roommates, best friends, my supervisors that I've had, and anyone who's helped me along the way. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great week.